is going on, everyone? Sergeant Ergerberg here, and today we're reacting to part 11, which means we only have 3 episodes to go. That went by fast. Seriously, there's like 13 episodes. This one doesn't count though, since that's literally everything. The first parts at least. The last parts at least, I mean. But today we're reacting to, part 11, Road to Cannae. Cannae, whatever it's called. 216 BC, so last time it was 217 BC. I'm reacting to this the same day that literally right after I reacted to the last video, part 10, because why not? Because that last one was short, and so was this one, so I still have a lot of energy left. So yeah, why not? But anyways, without further ado, let's get started. Chapter 1, because they have like 3 chapters for the last 3 parts, which is cool. It's like a final ending, like a finale. You know, they have like multiple finale parts. But yeah. Well, look at that place. The last episode, it said that the Romans are raising an unprecedented army right after they just got destroyed in a battle. And so I guess we're just witnessing the Romans raise their
It is August 2nd, 216 BC. Somewhere in the hills south of the river Alphidius,
oh no, they have a new voice actor. They keep changing voice actors.
2 figures could be seen creeping through the undergrowth, surrounded by the sounds of the forest. Accompanied by his father, a young boy was learning to hunt. Spotting their prey, the father whispered, "Nature is to be feared as much as it is to be revered.
I didn't know they spoke English back then.
And glory awaits those who temper it. Now you will become a man." As the boy trained his bow, the deer jolted and ran off. The pair looked around to see what startled the animal. As their ears perked up, screams. The sound of screams in the distance caught their attention. To their amazement, just beyond the brush in the plain below,
I wonder how they knew. But maybe they probably just made this up. But I wonder if they actually knew about that, and how did they know about that specific event?
Taking place was what seemed like an enormous battle near the town of Cannae.
Well, that went fast. What's going on here? What? I thought it said Road to Cannae.
I'm happy to say that for this video we partnered up with
Blaze. Okay.
This is done and file sent to you on essentially no credit card.
Dang, these episodes are really short, especially when you consider the ads. That last episode is probably 8 minutes or 7 minutes of actual video. Or 8 minutes of actual video.
Your fifth secure.
Yeah, it looks like the Romans are doing some damage in Iberia. Same thing with Carthage up in here, to northern Italy. Going all the way here right now.
Italy was commanding an undefeated army that inflicted losses on the Romans more severe than those
Undefeated? Oh, I didn't know that.
who suffered in the First Punic War, destroying several armies, marching across Italy at will, pillaging and setting the rich countryside ablaze, seemingly unopposed. Rome's scorched earth tactics of the year prior, intended to starve Hannibal's army, hadn't succeeded. His unchallenged presence in Italy was a humiliation for the Republic, and, at least politically, successes in Spain and Sicily were mere consolations. But Fabius's dictatorship, despite failing in its primary objective, provided Rome time to recover and oversaw the rebuilding of the field army, now under temporary command of Servilius and Regulus. However, feeling the economic impact of Hannibal's operations and fearing defections from its allies, during the winter, the Senate mobilized the Republic's resources. 2 new consuls, Lucius Aemilius Paulus and Gaius Terentius Varro, would hold joint command over the largest army Rome had ever put to field, with troops assembled and trained across Italy over the coming months.
From the looks of that battle, like it said earlier that there was about, what, 50,000 Carthaginians in total? Like 45,000? It said 20,000 were at camp and 25,000 were at the battle. So there's probably around like 100,000 Roman soldiers that are going to be in the Battle of Cannae. So, like that's a ton if you think about it.
Recruits were organized into legions, commanding officers appointed, drills conducted, and oaths taken. A sense of trust developed between the men and their leaders, gradually building a confident and effective force that was grimly determined to destroy the Carthaginian army in Italy in 216 BC. 8 overstrength legions, each numbering 5,000 troops, were raised.
Okay, wait a minute. I just want to count this real quick. 20,000, 40,000. $600, 40,000. Oh my gosh. Yeah, like around around 80,000 to 90,000.
40,000 Roman infantry and 2,400 cavalry would form the core of the massive army. Along with each legion, there would be an equal number of allied infantry, 40,000 in total, along with around 4,000 cavalry. All told, a host nearly 87,000 strong was assembled.
Dang.
A third of the Senate would serve in the army for the campaign of 216 BC, while most of the remaining senators sent their sons or relatives to join the legions. A very large number of equestrians, the Roman...
What was the population of the Roman Republic in 200 BC?
Okay, I found this on the web for what was the population of the Roman Republic in 200 BCE. Check it out.
Okay.
Aristocracy also joined, and numerous distinguished men served as military tribunes or as war counselors to one of the consuls. Of the appointed tribunes, 4 would go on to become consuls, while 3 out of 4 praetors that were elected that year were all former consuls themselves, with some of them having held field commands in previous wars. These were experienced men who reached maturity in the First Punic War, whose honor and tradition bound them to offer their services to Rome, realizing that the very idea of Roma Eterna was now in jeopardy. For Hannibal, being in hostile territory and supplying an army of some 50,000 soldiers and 10,000 cavalry horses, as well as servants, wives, and camp followers, was a never-ending problem that dictated the activities of a network of foraging parties and movements of the army. But thanks to Hannibal's logistical mindset, enough provisions were gathered at Geronium to last around 6 months, from late autumn 217 until spring of 216 BC. And now the year's crops were ripe enough to be harvested by his troops during campaign season. In early June, Hannibal left his winter quarters, descending from the Apennines into the fertile region of Apulia, with the Roman army following at a distance. After observing Hannibal's activities for several months, the 2 temporary consuls were asking for instructions from the Senate, now that the Carthaginians were on the move again, explaining that staying close to the enemy could force them into a battle. The Senate instructed them to wait until consuls Paulus and Varro arrived with their legions. This allowed the Carthaginian army to pillage their way through Apulia.
gosh.
For a third year in a row, Hannibal continued his campaign of violence to demonstrate Rome's inability to defend itself and its allies, in the hope that the continued perception of the Republic's weakness would cause defections and rebellions among its allies in southern Italy.
Yeah, why hasn't this happened yet? Like, they've lost a lot of battles.
Therefore, seeking a decisive battle against Hannibal was a logical decision for the Romans. Prior defeats had not yet diminished their spirit, and their resources were sufficient to continue the war. Upon joining the two temporary consuls, Paulus and Varro led the combined force south along the coastal plain to confront Hannibal. The two Roman commanders carefully scouted the route ahead, with riders patrolling the open country north of the river Aufidius to ensure that no ambush against them could succeed. But the Romans too faced logistical challenges. Supplying 87,000 men, their mounts and pack animals was immensely problematic, and maneuvering a force of that size in close vicinity of the enemy presented further challenges. The clouds of dust thrown up by the massive marching column was visible up to 10 kilometers away. Meanwhile, after raiding Apulia for about 7 weeks, Hannibal was considering his next move. His scouts must have informed him of the large force he would have to face, and he knew that a Roman victory in a single battle could stop his invasion and end any hopes of winning the war. Without any allies in southern Italy, if his army was dealt even a limited defeat, it would have been difficult for it to survive, too far from its bases in Spain and the tribes of Cisalpine Gaul, where supplies could be drawn from. Any significant losses of men in battle couldn't be replaced, and would diminish Hannibal's ability to plunder the countryside and wage war on the Romans. This would have resulted in lower rations and lack of payment for the troops, which would
that would like lower morale and stuff like that to make them weaker.
Would have certainly caused some of the contingents to lose heart and desert. Another rumor circled in Rome that Hannibal drew up a contingency plan, in case of defeat, to abandon the army and flee north with his cavalry, in the hope of cutting his way to Cisalpine Gaul. Whether or not this was true is impossible to say, but by mid-July Hannibal captured the town of Cannae.
Oh, okay, so the Battle of Cannae is about the Roman counterattack, okay. So once again, the Romans are being aggressive. Okay. Should be interesting. So I guess it's gonna be Hannibal trying to defend Cannae. Okay, that's cool.
While it wasn't the wealthiest nor largest settlement in the area, and was now abandoned, having suffered in the last year's campaign, Cannae was used by the Roman army as a supply depot.
Oh.
Capturing it, along with gathering the produce from the surrounding area, secured plentiful provisions for the troops, which reduced the need to forage for some time. For the next several weeks, the Carthaginian general sat and waited for the Romans. Situated on a hilltop, Cannae was a good vantage point, overlooking the flat plain in the direction from which the Roman army would come.
It would be difficult for the Romans to attack them from, like, if they're all the way on a hilltop like that. Like, with all these really experienced troops that have probably pretty high morale. And, you know, demoralized Romans who witnessed their armies being destroyed.
The Carthaginian officers by the name of Gisgo nervously commented on the size of the enemy army. Undoubtedly, he wasn't the only one in the Carthaginian army that was intimidated by the size of the Roman host.
Yeah, no kidding.
But, ever the master of mind games, Hannibal wittily remarked, "The thing that has escaped your notice is that, although there are so many of them, there is not one among them called Gisgo," thereby bolstering the confidence of the men and diffusing the tension into laughter. Although there was nothing stopping the Carthaginian general from continuing south, where more plunder could have been taken, he was aware that the Romans were coming and that he could not be perceived as trying to avoid battle, for no community in southern Italy would defect to his side if he lacked confidence in defeating Rome. At Cannae, Hannibal's objective was to meet and destroy.
You know, that's what's cool about Hannibal. Like, if you're in his position, you can imagine how, like, nervous he is. But he, like, puts on this really confident demeanor, like he knows he's gonna win. And, like, when other people, you know, comment about how many there are, like, he doesn't go like, yeah, you're right, there are a lot of them. Like, he makes jokes about it. Like, that's very cool.
The Romans.
Oh gosh. September 30th, even though, like... oh, this is recent! 28th of December. So this must have been finished, like, literally maybe like a month ago or something, I don't know. Dang, so this series ended recently. Who knows, maybe there'll even be more. But anyways, thank you everyone for watching. And, wow, tomorrow we're going to be reacting to Chapter 2. Actually, I don't think so. Maybe. But yeah, goodbye. Hello everyone, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it and subscribe to my channel. And, you know, turn on the notification bell thingy. And if you didn't, then make sure to leave a thumbs down. But yeah, that would be greatly appreciated. And while you're at it, go ahead and watch my other videos. They're probably just as good, and if not better than this one right now. Except for my oldest videos, don't watch those. And, you know, subscribe to these people down here, my fellow sergeants. They're other YouTubers that I either know or I have in high regards. Yeah, even my cat agrees. So, thank you for watching, and have a great day.